Stealth in video games. Let's see what he's got.
Stealth. The art of being completely undetected. As if you were never even there. Knock, knock.
Oh, that noise.
Me. I am that noise. I am the must have been the wind. I am the whistle from the hay bale. I am the one who crouches behind enemy and presses square many time. I am the shadows under light, the night vision goggle sight. I am the one whose footprints are these in the night. I am stealth. Man. Stealth.
Wait, I want to give my thoughts on stealth before I hear his so I can fucking calculate. I generally, how do I feel about stealth in video games? Because sometimes it's so boring. I guess I like it. You know what I hate? I hate, this is what I hate. In video games, when you have to crouch in a corner and wait for a guard who walks in a set circle pattern or square pattern to look away. I don't like that. That shit's boring. I think Hitman does stealth really well, where it's like your stealth is disguised as in plain sight, but you can run at full speed and run all around. No, it's not Hitman. I mean, that's how you play Hitman. I don't think I've ever done that in Hitman. I don't just sit there and wait for somebody to... And also in Hitman, you can move the guards. That's the cool thing. People saying like Hitman... Yeah, it's not Hitman at all, bro. It's not what Hitman is like. I don't like... what I'm thinking of... the great example I'm thinking of is kind of like... Metal Gear Solid's an example with the fucking box. But also I'm thinking of like in Zelda. Do you guys remember maybe you don't remember. You remember we played Ocarina of Time. Remember in Zelda when you have to go through the palace gardens and it's just like fucking people walking in squares and you have to sit there and wait, and then I hate that. I thought that would be so annoying. Wind Waker has it. I think that's boring. I think that part sucks. I remember... What games have good stealth? I guess you'll tell me. I'll listen to this. I'll learn more. But I'm trying to think of like my preferences. I mean, I love Hitman. Hitman, I like the idea of disguises. I think that's really cool. I like the idea of always having something you can do. Dishonored. Oh, good example. I love Dishonored. Dishonored's a great stealth game. Yeah. What's cool about this? Oh, one other thing I fucking hate. And Zelda does this too, but other games where if you get caught, it's game over. If you ever do stealth and the player gets caught, that should be the beginning of a fun segment. That should be like, oh, now shit's in high gear. Now I have to fucking... But if you get caught and it's like, start over. Yeah, Wind Waker had this too, where like the thing would pop up and it's like, you're caught, start over. I hate that shit. That's lame.
Is a gaming concept so common.
Yeah, the Yiga Clan hideout is a perfect example. That was so trash. Where you have to you make one mistake, they see you, oh, caught, drag you to the door. That's lame.
You're probably shocked if you can't crouch behind enemy and press square in your padded out open world game. But stealth is a lot more than just a simple takedown or tacked on gimmick. It's a powerful tool that can completely change how a video game is designed and played. The act of sneaking around has had such a monumental and storied impact on the gaming medium. But when is stealth good? When is it bad? How do we make it better? How do we make it glad? It's important that we talk about it all right here, right now, but we also gotta be kind of quiet so we don't... Dude, I'm literally invisible!
Oh, Deus Ex is another great example. Someone in chat said it, so I'm yoinking, but Deus Ex, the first one, did stealth the best. Fucking computer's losing my mind. No, that wasn't even. That was the other. That was the Starforge. The Starforge kicked into fucking high gear, crashed, and put the fans to the. Yeah, Deus Ex is. I think I like when stealth is an option the player almost comes up with themselves. Just to like where firefights are so expensive or damaging or hard that you try to get around it. And Deus Ex is perfect for that, where it's like you have limited bullets and you just don't want to fight these people. You can. There's no penalty. But you're just like trying to find ways around them. I think that's really cool. Last of Us is kind of like that. Although I feel like I fought everything. I never played Crysis, so I can't speak to that. But I like the idea of like limited resources making you decide when you want to sneak away, which is really cool. Did you ever play Splinter Cell? There was a game. Was it Splinter Cell where they had asymmetric 2v2 where there was like hunters and dude, it's like so long ago I barely remember it, but I played it at a friend's house. What game was this? Spies vs. Mercs. Yeah. Was that Splinter Cell? That game ruled. I only played it like for one weekend at a friend's place. We had such a blast. That was one of the most fun. Yeah, that was awesome. That was one of the coolest multiplayer experiences ever because you had different strategies and that was really cool. And like, yeah, because the spies were weaker, so they couldn't fight you head on, so they had to use stealth. That was cool. That was badass. That was like I wish more games did that. That was like, I'm kind of sick of games that are balanced. How do you describe it? I want games where the two sides are so different they have to be completely different. They should be balanced like in terms of win rate, I guess. But I mean, like, they shouldn't be balanced like they're the same. You know, it shouldn't be like chess where everyone's got the same pieces. I like asymmetrical. I think that's way cool. I mean, the best example is StarCraft, where, you know, Zerg and Terran are 1,000% different. Every unit is different. The way they build is different. The way everything they do is different, but the game's still balanced. And so, like, the strategies are so unique. I love that.
Okay. So like I was saying, if you ask a gamer what the first stealth game is, you'll likely get some different answers. Oh, it's Castle Wolfenstein. That game let you wear enemy disguises. Nah, bro, the book of Guinness of being world record green and sparkly says it's 005. That game had enemy vision cones. Assassin's Creed Altair Chronicles is a video game that I own. But the correct answer actually seems to be Shoplifting Boy in 1979. Predating even Pac-Man by a year, you take on the role of the titular iconic boy as you walk around a store avoiding this guy and stealing Thai dollar signs. This prehistoric, barely comprehensible game still successfully established two core tenets.
This game looks peak. I think what I should do instead of finishing any other game that I'm doing is spend all of November playing just Shoplifting Boy every day until I become the best at it. I think we should cancel all Marketing Mondays, cancel all discussions of business or politics. Every Clip Channel video should be a new Shoplifting Boy PB every day. And we just play some fucking... That'd be based.
Of the stealth genre. Don't get caught. Grab anything that isn't bolted to the ground. Beer before stealth, have good health. Stealth before beer, you're gonna have fear. Okay, so now let's fast forward a bit to 1987, and let me tell you something, man. You ever heard of a fucking Kojima production? Metal Gear is the godfather of all modern stealth games. To quote Mr. Ludonarrative Dissonance himself, Clint Hawking, without Metal Gear, there would be no stealth games.
Nailed it.
I don't think he's not British. More so than any game before, Metal Gear solidified stealth as its own genre. A lot of games at this point had mostly been about conflict. Shoot everything on the screen with your big gun. Holy shit, you're huge. But Metal Gear said, you're not some super soldier with infinite ammo. You're a fragile little snake and you actually want to avoid combat as much as possible. Quietly dispatch guards. Acquire gadgets like suppressors to use guns without alerting everyone. Metal Gear was originally supposed to be a combat-heavy shooter, but because the MSX couldn't have all these bullets and enemies on screen at once, Kojima, in a stroke of genius, utilized his limitations and realized the power of disempowerment. And remember that word, write it down, because it's very important.
Does anyone else think that perhaps now that Kojima is famous and gets infinite budget for every project that he's lost those limitations? And somehow his art has slightly suffered? Much like George Lucas in the prequels versus the originals when he had no one to say no.
Important to me in my invisible body. My man is horny as hell, and this is not how humans talk, but man, I so deeply cherish him and his productions, okay? Don't forget, they're his productions, okay? Now let's fast forward a bit to the most important year for stealth games, and maybe just all video games in general. 3 sacred seminal stealth games released in 1998, and every modern stealth mechanic can likely be traced back to one of these 3 games. Metal Gear Solid, Thief, and my boy Metal Gear Solid is a straight up gaming monument for
I forgot about Thief. I think I played Thief when I was very, very young. I thought it was cool. And then when I was like 20, I tried to reinstall it or play the remastered, and it was like, this game sucks. This game's so fucking old. Everything's so bad. But I don't know that I don't know that, like, it could be a wrong take.
So many reasons. The cinematic presentation and voice acting, the creative fourth wall breaks, part where Otacon pees himself and then you let a wolf pee on you. Come to think of it, Kojima Productions kind of have a lot of pee-type beats. But the Soliton radar and predictable enemy AI that gave you clear chirps on what they're thinking or doing, the game had an amazing sense of feedback. You always understood what was going on. Thief showed us how tense and atmospheric a stealth game could be when played from a first-person perspective, giving the player a lot of freedom while also disempowering them, there's that word again, to instill a palpable sense of danger. Big interactable maps with mechanics like light and sound engaging with the player's abilities.
Okay, that's badass. I just watched him knock out a torch to turn the lights off. That's fucking cool. But it looks, the game, I think I'm a kind of a graphics fucking snob sometimes, bro. Sometimes. I think the game's just ugly as sin. But that's cool mechanics.
An environment, an immersive sim, if you will, and you will, I checked. Hello? Hello? You know, usually there's like a guy that I yell at, but I don't see, where the heck you get off to? Hi, I'm Jakey, and Jakey, attorneys at law. As an extremely successful, sexy lawyer, I live a very fast-paced, busy lifestyle. A lifestyle that makes it very easy for me to forget that I need to eat food, and then it's too late, and I'm hangry, and I'm screaming at my clients. Go to jail, it's a state overrule. Factor's meal planning and delivery of meals right to my doorstep is a lifesaver and keeps me from being disbarred. Because the second I realize I'm starting to go sicko mode, I can have a fresh, never frozen, delicious meal prepared in 2 minutes. And not just any meal. Chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals that I don't even need to leave my enclosure to get because they send them to me every week in a box. Modern shipping is a marvel. Factor has a variety of over 35 meals to choose from, with options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, and more. Before Factor, I would often fall into the trap of just ordering food through an overpriced delivery app with a bunch of stupid fees because my hangry desperation would set in. Not only is Factor cheaper, but it helps me stick to a more balanced diet because it takes all the guesswork out of clean eating, so I'm not just filling my body with random mid-tier loot. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code NAKEY50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code NAKEY50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month of orders. Yes, chef. Thank you, chef. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring this video. And now let's get back to trying to find out where the heck that guy went off to. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I think I see him.
What is Huel? Genuine question. Do you know the character Huel Babineau from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul? He started his own drink company. You know how The Rock has his tequila? This is Huel's tequila. It's actually a really delicious alcoholic beverage. And I, of course, took a sponsor because I love to get drunk on stream.
See him right there. Oh, he's kind of coming. You're kind of coming at me fast. Slow down. Ah! Drop the bass. Yes. Oh my God. Tenchu gives you nightmares if you watch your brother play it at a young age, and prioritized freedom of movement within a 3D stealth sandbox, letting the player parkour across rooftops and do flashy, cool, big sword press square behind enemy sword moves. That sounds a little bit familiar. Scratch his head. Fucks. Okay, history lesson is over, but let me ask you something, man. What's gonna happen when an enemy... Oh my God! I'm literally a phantom menace! Getting caught in a stealth game never feels good, but it especially doesn't feel good if you don't fully understand why or how you got caught. It doesn't matter if the rules are unrealistic, it matters if they're consistently unrealistic. I don't care if the enemy AI is dumb as hell, that's fine. I care if they're consistently dumb as hell in a way that I can predict and manipulate. Do guards look up?
That's a good point. And I think one of the points that works in Hitman's favor is that the weaknesses of the AI are exploitable in a very fun way. You know, they're always going to check out that fucking coin you throw. But it's good because if they didn't, it would be impossible to move around and so, you know, it gives the player something to do at all times.
Do guards look down? Will guards hear me if I run? Will a guard see through my disguise if I stand too close to them and whisper my birthday? It's December 28th, by the way. If one person sees me, then why does everyone in the galaxy know exactly where I am now? If the rules aren't consistently made clear, then playing the game will feel like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle, but the pieces keep changing size and color and shoot you with glocks. It's so much better when the game clearly communicates that, hey, this is where the enemy thinks you are with, you know, a clear visual cue, or the enemy yells, I think she's over there. The radar in Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 is great for giving you clear feedback, but you can also end up playing a lot of those games just staring up at this square. It's the same with games that have that magical X-ray see-through walls vision. It's very easy to end up playing through a very beautiful game through this ugly lens, which just is not ideal. In a social stealth puzzle box game like Hitman, the X-ray vision makes a bit more sense because you're trying to keep track of so much information at once. But for more active, like action stealth games, I think Far Cry actually established...
I was about to be mad at him, but he saved it. I was about to be mad at him. I was about to lose my shit, but then he said, you know, it makes sense for Hitman. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Base. Well said. Saved it.
Established a really sophisticated solution with the marking mechanic that Metal Gear Solid 5 also later adopted. It feels a lot more immersive and engaging to actually have to pay attention and clock the enemies yourself, but then the game gives you an assist and says, okay, we'll help you keep track of everything now. But even with all this help, sometimes you might still mess up and get caught from the shadows. I've been here the whole time, that's right, and my greatest stealth move is that this video is actually about difficulty.
Okay.
If I had a nickel for every time I talked about Anthony Birch on this channel, I think I'd have 3 of the nickels. It's not my fault, okay? If MFs like him and Ego Raptor didn't make videos like this, MFs like me would probably be working at Chili's right now. And I'd be wearing fucking Altair's robes too, talking about, oh, you want a refill? Boom! Anthony has a great video on difficulty where he talks about Metal Gear Solid 3 and how playing on the highest difficulty of Extreme actually forced him to play a stealth game like a stealth game. AKA, usually when you get caught in Snake Eater, you can pretty easily just CQC everyone and run to the exit. But on Extreme, you die a lot faster, so you can't as easily just brute force your way through. This one simple change forced him to actually utilize all of the different Kojima productions at his disposal and improvise creative stealth solutions. In this right here, this holy union of stealth and difficulty with a side piece of improv is incredible to experience, but unfortunately not always the default experience. Ghost of Tsushima, a game that I haven't talked about a lot on this channel, but one that I deeply cherish. Just look at this shot. Yeah, that's gonna pump the gas, all right. Playing on normal difficulty the first time, I had zero issue just sprinting into combat all of the time. And as great as the combat is, Ghost, being a disciple of Drop the Bass Tenchu, it also has a lot of flashy, fluid, stealth ninja stuff. Parkour, grapple hook, chain assassination, kunai, flute, songs.
This game has a chain assassinate button? I thought I wouldn't like it, but now I think I might. That sounds sick as fuck. That sounds like it rules.
Bow to your sensei. But like, you don't really need to use any of that stuff. On lethal difficulty though, it's a completely different situation. The enemies now kill you in like 1 to 2 hits, but also you kill them in like 1 to 2 hits. The kunai goes from being a fun, cute little toy to an essential difference between life and death. A smoke bomb isn't just a cool move, it is the key to surviving an onslaught of enemies. Every technique point spent can drastically change your chances of survival. This kind of increase in difficulty is the right kind of increase in difficulty, not just for stealth games, but for all games in general. Don't just make the enemies spongier with way more health. Raise the stakes in a way.
Fucking hate that. Oh, I hate when games make the harder difficulty just make the fucking, just triple the health pools. It's the worst. It's the laziest, worst, not fucking fun. Like, let's rush this out because most people don't play the hard mode anyway, so we don't give a shit. What else do they do? They could just, even just increasing their damage is already a better way to do it, because then the player can still kill them in cool, fast ways, but they can't make any mistakes or they die. That alone, if you're going to be lazy, just up the damage. Upping the health, Resident Evil did this, and it was so annoying because everything just took more shots to the head. It wasn't like you can limit the number of bullets. That's fine. You can find ways to make it so the player has to be more precise, but if they're still playing precise and then they don't get any reward for it, it makes the game worse.
That pushes the player toward using all of the tools in their tool belt. And for most stealth games, that magic word, say it with me, you wrote it down, is disempowerment. You're much more likely to utilize stealth in Sekiro for these exact reasons. Everything will kill the S word out of you if you don't. The S word is sword.
Sekiro is the best fucking game. I think it really is. It's the best game I've ever played on stream for sure. In terms of games that I've played and completed on stream, there's no better one than Sekiro. It's the best game. I don't know if it's the best game I've played in my life, but it could be. It just feels so complete. You don't have anything you would change. So good. And yeah, he's right. I mean, I remember like anytime you could find a way to sneak behind a boss and get one quick strike or a mini boss and get one of the red circles gone, you would do it because the advantage was so big to you.
One of the greatest stealth levels.
Hollow Knight? I think Sekiro is a better game than Hollow Knight. It's obviously very close. I put more hours into Hollow Knight. I mean, it's a 1A, 1B Shaq and Kobe situation, but I'd probably give the edge to Sekiro. Just I think it's, I'm not the biggest Metroidvania person. I think Hollow Knight is so good that it makes me push through that stuff, but I'm not a huge, find the fucking stealth boots or the jump boots to go or whatever. I don't love that stuff, but the game's so beautiful and the bosses are so good and it's like obviously an amazing game in every level, but I think Sekiro's a little better.
Ever, all gillied up in Call of Duty 4, has extremely punishing combat if you...
Hours is the last way? Exactly, yeah. Number of hours is not a way to judge it because I have more hours in Hollow Knight and I also have more hours in League of Legends. But according to that, League of Legends and Shardbound are the two greatest games ever made. And that's not how I really rank it. That's not how I'd really rank it. True though. Yeah. What else do I have? A lot of hours. I have a lot of hours in a lot of stupid games.
You get caught because, yeah, you are severely outnumbered, motherfucker. Sneak around. Dang, okay, I guess I need to run away and hide in this thing. What is this called? Getting caught sucks, but it doesn't always mean the fun part has to be over. In games like Far Cry, Metal Gear Solid 5, the Last of Us games, gameplay can exist in this constant flow between stealth and combat, leading to some really great improv moments where you're just doing whatever.
You might mention it or you might not, but like this is why Hitman is a great game for everyone of all skill levels. If you ever watch someone casually play Hitman, they try to be stealthy, then they fuck it up, then shit goes haywire, then they're freaking out, then that's so fun. That's why I like watching Squeaks or NL play. That is the fuck. Oh, he says that. Okay, never mind. Fuck.
you can to survive. This is why the Last of Us games on survival difficulty have amazing stealth gameplay, and it actually feels like the way the game is meant to be played, the way that you're, trying to negotiate which resources you're going to use because there's actual stakes. And it's the same thing with multiplayer stealth. Some of the most thrilling stealth moments in gaming can actually be found in online games. And I don't just mean Ass Creed or Splinter Cell or Metal Gear Online, as great as those multiplayer modes are. In a battle royale, you're literally scrambling to survive using anything that you can find. Whether it's a bush in Fortnite or a ghillie suit in PUBG, playing stealthily can hold a huge...
Wasn't there like a 40-year-old dad who got to the highest rank in Fortnite just camping the bush? He just did it every time. He would sit in the middle of the map with a bush camp dad. That's a legend. That guy's a fucking legend. He would just wait until there was only one person left, then he would try to snipe him. And he did it every game, all day, every day, until he got to the highest rank. He was playing with the most cracked out 12-year-olds, and he got to the highest level. I think that's so fucking... that's so based.
Huge advantage. Thinking on your feet to trick actual other human players and prop hunt is full-on yes and improv. But as great as those improvised moments are, sometimes stealth games will actually push the player...
Dude, I forgot about prop hunt. We used to do the prop hunt riddles. Me stands in Lud. Those were... And Mango. The Witchit. It was Witchit. We would do prop hunt Witchit riddles. Those were fun. That was fun.
Away from improvising, whether they mean to or not.
That was like 3 years ago.
Oftentimes, a stealth game can make the player feel inclined to reload a save after getting caught. The Dishonored series is a really interesting example. I've enjoyed playing Dishonored the most after cranking up the difficulty to at least hard so that the combat has higher stakes, cough cough disempowerment cough. But Dishonored also lets you save whenever you want. And at the end of every level, you also get this rating screen, which shows how many people saw you and how many people you killed, which changes your chaos rating, which then changes the story. Don't get me wrong, I think Dishonored really does want you to be able to play however you want. And I think it's a common misconception that a high chaos run is the bad ending and a low chaos run is a good ending. It's not good or bad, they're just different. But I do think that when you frame it in these terms and you have a rating screen paired with the ability to save scum, it might subconsciously push a player toward a playstyle that's, oh shit, I got caught and I killed someone. Okay, time to reload the save. But I find it's so much more liberating to just let things play out and see what emergent gameplay can happen. The new Hitman games have the same thing. Amazing, complex stealth sandboxes that subtly discourage the player from experiencing emergent gameplay moments because, oh no, my rating at the end will be bad if I do this fun thing, so better just reload the save. And all of this, this entire video was really just an
Wait, is he saying let me hear this take honestly. Just my only thing I'll say is I've never seen someone play Hitman and care about it. I'll watch it, but I've never seen someone play Hitman and be like, oh, I fucking started shooting it up, I better stop.
Moments. Because, oh no, my rating at the end will be bad if I do this fun thing, so better just reload the save. And all of this, this entire video was really just an excuse so I could say the following thing. Hitman Freelancer is the greatest stealth game ever made. Everything. Literally everything I've talked about, it's in this game. Freelancer is the roguelike add-on that uses all of the same levels, but gives you random objectives and targets across a series of consecutive campaigns. There's no saving and reloading, it's just you, your targets, and a bunch of optional incentives to make extra money so that you can buy better gear to help you throughout your run. Freelancer's random objectives pushes you into situations that you would likely never get into while playing the base game. We'll give you extra money if you wear a funny disguise and throw an explosive baseball at this guy. Oh, you want me to use a goddamn katana? All right, shout out to the Tenchu, drop the base, let's figure out how to do this. And because you can't just reload a save, getting caught in Freelancer feels extremely tense because if you die, you fail the campaign. But because Hitman's enemy AI and disguise system are so fun to play around with and manipulate, even getting caught can turn into this fun game of cat and mouse. The overall feeling of Freelancer is, who gives a shit about a rating? Just get the job done however possible. Freelancer is like a goddamn comedy club with how much improv is going on. All right, so in summary, what did we learn today? I am invisible, and there...
I agree. W Hitman Glaze. What's funny is I'm still stuck on the last part. I think. I I I don't knock the base game of Hitman for having a rating system because I just don't think it doesn't punish you in any way, so it's like a fun thing to shoot for. Um, but maybe people don't play, they don't enjoy the game because of that. I hope that doesn't turn people off of the game because they think they can't get a 5-star rating. I'm a casual. Like when I watch like my little brother play or anyone play, I feel like they try for a good rating for their first playthrough, but they don't really care. Like they'll figure out how to kill the 2 targets and they'll get out and they'll win and they're happy. And if they want to go for a high rating later, then that's fine. But I don't see people's saves come on like their first playthrough to try and keep 5-star the whole way through. I think that's when I first played the game, I came back later and enjoyed it regardless of. Is the story interesting? I like the story, but I don't think it's like a masterpiece. It's just a fun story. Like Hitman, you don't get a different ending. You don't get the only thing that happens is the rating. You still move on to the next level. Nothing, all you do is unlock more stuff. You only get rewarded really. I don't really care, but getting no stars hurts a little. I guess there's something to that. But I also feel like if you didn't have the no stars, then some people would never realize how fun the game could be. Because people think, oh, if my only goal is to kill the targets, it's actually like the thing about Hitman is like every mission is actually really easy for anyone, even a basic player. All missions are easy if your only goal is to kill them. You can just walk in, you can just shoot them, make a big scene, walk out. Like nobody would have a challenge. But once you see how easy that is, you realize, oh, the thrill, the fun comes from doing it in different, fun, more creative, more zany, more wild ways. I think that's. Oh, we have. Oh. The issue was watching good people play Hitman and then trying it myself. Felt like 5-star was the only way to enjoy the game. Yeah, that's a fair criticism. I'm now seeing that. Like his point put me onto that idea. Because I'm just trying to think of like how I can make Hitman more interesting and appealing to new players. And I've always done it by showing off some of the cool strategies. But I'm wondering if I don't know. I'm wondering. Anyway, let's see.
There is unfortunately no cure for that. B, disempowerment is a very powerful tool in gaming. C, emergent gameplay featuring improvised creative stealth solutions will always bang. And D, Kojima Productions are in fact productions by Hideo Kojima. Thank you so much for watching my video. What are some of your favorite stealth games? I'm realizing right now that I literally didn't really talk about like horror stealth games after mentioning that Thief was like started first-person horror and there's like Alien Isolation, Resident Evil and all that stuff. Go watch a YouTuber play Amnesia, I don't know. Yeah.
Amnesia's a great example. Amnesia is one of the great stealth games ever because the only thing about Amnesia is the game is so fucking scary and so awesome because your character is so weak and you're always afraid and you're always running until you realize that it doesn't matter if they see you. Like whenever you're still scared, it's awesome. But once you just say, fuck it, I'm going to stand there and you realize that there's no real punishment, then you start becoming not scared at all. Then the whole game falls apart. But if you play it the first time, it's one of the scariest games. I played it with my little brother. We had 2 computers set up next to each other. We played it in the dark. We were just screaming. I get too scared for Slender Man. Slender Man is some Zoomer shit. I don't know anything about it. Slender Man? think it's funny that Zoomers really attached to Slender Man and Five Nights at Freddy's. I wonder why. There's just there's these randomly creepy horror games. I don't know. It's so odd to me. It's our childhood, yeah, but anything could have been your childhood. Like, why did those games connect with that audience? I don't know. Was it YouTubers? It probably was YouTubers. That would make sense. It was YouTubers that did horror at the time. Okay, that tracks. That makes a lot of sense. So Markiplier shifted the culture, is what you're telling me. There's a new Hitman game coming out? No, there's not. They're making James Bond next. They have no new Hitman game coming. What I remember was when I was a kid, the creepy stuff was normal games with creepypasta. So you'd play Pokemon Red or Majora's Mask, but then the internet would tell you how secretly creepy it was. The game itself was not scary at all, but you would like be told that there was like a lot of secret stuff hidden in the files. That Lavender Town, a real kid had died, and someone had drowned while making Majora's Mask, and play Outlast. You won't? I played Outlast. In fact, I made my parents play Outlast. I had a fun thing where I was trying to like have a family, make my family try games. So we set up on the couch and put Outlast up, and then we passed the controller around. It was fun. It was really fun. Trying to get, like, my mom's never played video games, and she's trying to move around in Outlast, and we're all watching, and it was great. It was very, very, very funny. I should have streamed it. I should look back at all my good family memories and say those should have been content. Fuck. If only I could have monetized them somehow. If I ever get a time machine, that's what I'll do. We could have farmed a clip. I wish I monetized more memories. The last thing before you flatline. I wasted so much content. Why didn't you stream your Redding? My biggest fucking regret. My biggest regret, dude. Not only did I didn't stream it, I didn't even get it sponsored. Can you imagine if I did a quick fucking Huel ad read during my vows? It would have been badass. Oh, speaking of the Reddit. Wait, speaking of the Reddit. Speaking of the Reddit, I have something to say. This is a insane thing to say, but based on what I've seen on my phone, the Reddit has low-key, despite me not paying any attention to it, had a couple funny posts. It's like it started to low-key cook. Very low, extremely low-key, like just turning on the boiler a little bit. But like there's been some actual posts that are like breaking through that are like a little bit funny. Just a little different than the usual. Now there's plenty of bad stuff. Like I'm looking right now and I'm seeing this thing where a guy said, every single time my roommate wants a hot dog, they buy a new pack. And then this guy goes, Atrioc had roommates and it has 7-Up votes. It's just a fucking slop. This is just slop. Like this is a classic slop. That's what I would normally, this is all that would be on the Reddit. But then there was some other stuff that was kind of funny. Like, this guy went to the Central Bank Currency Museum in Japan. He did call me Atrioc-san, which is not great. And he found Bill Clinton there. He took a picture. Pogged. This is the museum I took Ari to. It's in one of our few days in Japan. I took her to this fucking currency museum at the Central Bank. And then he bought this, which is actually fucking swag. It's like a towel or a flag of the currency. I would love this. I have this exact photo, though. Not with this, but like this same spot right here. Me standing right here. And then he got a coffee and took a picture of a cow. And what's funny is I remember this cow. It's just down the street. And I remember thinking, should I take a photo with it? Like, I remember this cow. Best of all, as promised, Bill Clinton was there. He's there all the time from opening till closing. He just likes to chill and hang out and wait for Big A to come visit again. For good measure and to feel even closer to Senpai Sama-kun. Isn't that 3 different honorifics? Okay. I think I've earned that. I got some coffee and visited the local financial district cow. For real, though, it was shocking how many families people were on dates. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. But it was really cool. They did have the early Japanese coins you'd put the string through. They did have examples of early inflation. They did have the first bills in Japan, how they got overprinted, how like gangs would create their version of it. It was really sick. I thought it was badass, and it was all in Japanese for some. Yeah, I didn't lie. I didn't make up this whole story. Everything I said about it was true. It's all there, bro. It's all there. You can go see it. It was a story time audit, and he fucking checked it all. It was weird that it's in Japanese. Thank you for your contributions. There will be books written about what you have shared. Fear not, brother. There will come a day when brand on, quote, big, AY, will realize the wrong... Okay, maybe the Reddit's not so great. And be enlightened to value and deeper meaning of the writings he once demeaned. Inshallah. This is one of the worst posts ever written as a response to anything. That's awful. But the post was funny. And then, okay, this is terrible. Did anyone notice Big A's Johnny Bravo shout out during the stream? This is a really bad screenshot. My hair was all greasy. I don't like that you took this screenshot. I fucking had hat hair. I took it off. And it was not a Johnny Bravo impression. And I don't feel like every time that I take my hat off or I don't have my hair washed, it needs to be called out. I'm not going to use it for my profile picture. The LGBTQ community has forgiving Atrioc. Yeah, they gave it. He's good. I'm glad they forgave him because he has changed his ways. Okay, he's a different man. I don't know why the photo of Slime smoking a cigar needs to be there, but thought Big A would get kicked out of his Instagram ad. Okay, Instagram ad.
That's a rookie mistake.
What's a rookie mistake?
Been told to diversify, you've been lied to. That's a rookie mistake. Diversification is for stupid people. It makes very little sense if you know what you're doing. I'm going to knock out a free brief coming up next week where I'm going to show you the only stock you need to own, which is diversified in and of itself. So make sure you click the link in bio.
I thought diversification was for stupid people. Why would I want a stock that's diversified in and of itself?
For the link below to join me for this free brief. So I'll see you in the briefing room. Fights on.
It's funny. He could just be saying to invest only in Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett's company that owns a bunch of other stocks. That could be what this is, and that's fine, I guess. It's not some crazy secret brief. You don't need to pay someone for a consult. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Berkshire Hathaway is almost, dude, they just sold half of all their Apple stock. They're in so much cash. You know how the government puts out these treasury bills, these IOUs, and people can buy them and get a small % interest return? Warren Buffett owns more of those than anyone else, including the U.S. government, which prints money to buy them. Warren Buffett has taken real cash and bought more of our government debt than than our government, which can print money to buy. He is all in on cash and T-bills right now. I want to see Buffett's Robinhood side account. Yeah. Yeah, you know Buffett on his second phone is just fucking punting GameStop stock. Just all he's got DraftKings, he's got Robinhood, he's got 0-day till expiration options. All right, let's see. Let's go top of the, because there was a couple other things that I remember were good, but I can't find them. Top of the week. Okay, I just looked on top of all of Reddit for the week, and that's not. Top week. Okay. Don't let me overhype these posts. How Big Ace Met The Rock, a comic saga, feel free to cry. This got 400 upvotes after I added to it. I'm worried about this. Oi, brav. Give us your wallet, innit? Usually I would, but I have a feeling someone is going to save me. Look behind you. What do you mean by that, then? Back away from my friend, hombre. I don't say hombre in regular life, and I don't hold a hot dog. Is that? Don't worry, King. I took him out with the old glizzy trick. Thanks, Brandy. He wouldn't call me Brandy. Hey, that glizzy stuff is pretty funny. You definitely shouldn't ban it in the chat for a month. Rocky Bal Noah, when you're right, you're right. Who the fuck writes this stuff? Who the fuck writes this stuff for real? Who is typing this into Photoshop and putting this together? Rocky Bal Noah? Scorsese. Martin Scorsese on his Reddit account. I hope he likes it. I hope he really likes this one because I think I really cooked with. Specific Rest 3140 9.4K karma. Wow, it's really powerful. Can I see some comments on that actually? Let me make sure they're this piece of art has genuinely brought me to tears. This is the peak of mankind's innovation. Hey man, I know you mean this as a joke for the community and all, but you should probably talk to somebody. Don't worry, Spielberg and Nolan are in a bidding war for the rights as we speak. All great creators are a bit insane. You should probably talk to someone being urging him to find representation so he gets a good price for selling this. I saw this on my homepage and didn't realize what sub I was on until Image 4 caught me by surprise. I'm sorry. Until Image 4. Okay. Okay. I was like, I thought this was 4. I thought, okay. Even still. Other subreddits have this? Fuck me, dude. What the hell? What about this? Oh, this is what I was talking about. There was some actual news. People were posting some news on the internet. It was getting some upvotes. Like Silksong confirmed not to be shown at Gamescom. Then we talked about this. Obviously, it's true that this is his way of throwing us off the scent. Jeff Keighley doesn't want us to know, so it's still a surprise. However, I have seen through his lies. We will get Silksong at Gamescom, confirmed. It's going to be awesome. Silksong fans rise up. We can already feel the end of our wait coming. The only thing I say about this, okay, I got to talk about this. The only thing I want to say about Silksong is that there's a group of people, an ever-growing group of people on social media who like to pretend that, like, after waiting this long, I'm just over it. Like, I don't even care if it comes out. And it's like, shut the fuck up. We know when it comes out, you're gonna be right back. You're like, it's so sour grapes, bro. It's so cringe. Okay, it's like you're trying to hope that someone sees your post at Team Cherry and is like, wow, we really better rush this out. Like, you're really expecting a Team Cherry employee to be like, oh shit, we're losing them. We better get to work. Like, they're not even. It's so dumb, dude. It's gonna. If you were waiting it for 3 years or whatever, if you've been waiting for years, you didn't suddenly feel like, oh, you don't care anymore. Once it comes out, if it's good, you'll be like excited to play it. If it's bad, whatever. But yeah, it's like people saying, like, if Half-Life 3 came out fucking tomorrow, you're not gonna be like, you know what? It's been too long. I don't care. Not worth it. I'm not excited. It doesn't. They've built up the hype. If it's good, it's good. Oh, then this was cool too. So I found out about this story. I mean, it's obviously on Reddit, but from here, the FTC bans fake online reviews, inflated social media influence. Rules take place in October. That's cool. That's fucking cool. I don't know how they enforce it. Fake online reviews are very difficult to enforce in the age of AI, but like, it's again, it's listening to what consumers want and then trying to move the law in that direction. So it's cool. Again, Lena Khan's been on a tear, bro. She's been on a tear. I so much respect. I don't think it obviously can change. Yeah, I don't know that this is like extremely. I don't know. We could read a little more. Let's see. Ban. Oh, I mean, I guess there's something to it, right? So now, like previously, if you are marketing a product, let's say you buy some AliExpress watch or something, or whatever, like you just some cheap knockoff good, then you make a fake brand and put up a bunch of fake reviews on your website saying like, this is 5 stars, this is high quality. What you've done is now officially illegal. Before it was totally fine, just kind of frowned upon. Consumers didn't like it. Now it's illegal. So if you do it, you are now, whether or not they can enforce it or catch you, at least you are now breaking the law. And if they do catch you, you've officially broken the law. Like that. That's positive. That's a positive step. And it's even better is like companies like Amazon or I don't know, bigger companies that might be flirting with the idea of like AI generated reviews or Yelp or something. Now at that scale are probably pretty scared of openly flouting a law. I don't think they'll do that. Generally, when a big company wants to do something illegal, they change the law. Big companies are not huge on like under the table illegal activity. They like to just make the law so that everything's above board and what they're doing is scummy in public. So the fact that this is illegal is good. And then there was this post. Can nuclear power get Atrioc to love the Reddit again? And it's a picture of a hot dog in front of a nuclear power plant. And I got 150 upvotes. And the answer is kind of yes, if I cut out this hot dog part. There was an interesting post I wanted to share with you. What was it? Oh, dude. I also... no knock on Liminary, but I feel like I was just scrolling Twitter today, and I found 15 tweets that made me laugh harder than... what I got submitted. I feel like I was just scrolling down my basic feed and everything was making me laugh. Including this one, which I'm just going to share with you right now. I mean, we can even edit it into yesterday's video. This one was funny, dude. It was how dudes with no close friends, no job, no social skills or effort, and no social media expect to meet their soulmate.
Oh, fuck! Oh, smooth, smooth.
Hi, I saw you from outside playing video games. I was wondering if maybe I could come inside and watch you play.
Boom!
That was so cool!
Boom! Yeah! Who else can get that one?
That was awesome!
Dance smooth.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's badass, dude. That's how it happens. Anyway, that's a documentary. That's a documentary. On real ways people. Man, that's how I met Ari, bro. It happens. That's how I met Ari, yeah. And then also this one. This was Snoop Dogg doing his white voice.
Motherfucker chasing me around all day yesterday. That motherfucker chasing me around all day yesterday. Little white dude with a little camera.
Must have been
Hey
TMZ.
Snoop, what do you feel about Jay-Z and the NFL thing? I'm not answering. I showed up somewhere else. Here this nigga come again. Hey Snoop, what's going on? What do you feel about Jay-Z and the NFL thing? Motherfucker chasing me around all day yesterday. Little white dude with a little camera.
Must have been TMZ.
Hey Snoop, what do you feel about?
It's not how I sound. That's not how I sound. That's not an Atrioc impression. No, it doesn't sound, I don't sound like that. Hey Snoop. That's not how I fucking sound, bro. This one was good too. Disney Plus, subscribe and get 7 days. Motherfuckers trying to kill me. No thanks. That was fucking great. Anyway, they were all hitting, dude. They were all hitting. This dude said 16-inch pizza, my ass. He measured it to be 14 inches and then got a full refund on Uber Cash. That's based. Mm. And then this one, where fucking apparently Minecraft got high-speed rail before America. I'm not a Minecraft gamer anymore. I put those years behind me. But now you can actually fucking... It's unreal, dude. It's got to be capped. No, I think it's real. I think they made it so you can speed up the rail somehow. Now it's going too fast for it to load, but it's Bullet Train. It's a new experimental feature. Oh, okay. So it's not out yet, but you can play with it on the snapshot. Oh, hey, this is that post I was talking about. Well, I just want to show it to you because it's cool as fuck, but the Pokemon post. Like, this is the one that got me thinking about how they're the same ones from 30 years ago, but it's still fucking sick. Where's this from? I think it's just their social channels, but like, someone was saying in the comments how this would be such a sick art style for a video game, and I can't help but agree. I feel like a Pokemon game in this art style would be so fucking fun. It's used in gacha games? What do you mean? Okami? Is Okami a gacha game? Isn't that just like a famous game? Okami. Oh, I know Okami. Yeah. I never played it, but I know this game. This is not a gacha game. This is like a fucking all-time... this game was like... I remember, actually, I'll be honest with you. What I remember about this game is that I would be on the forums, the fucking GameFAQs forums, as I recall, and Okami got great reviews, and I was like, nah, it's probably boring shit. Because I didn't want my console to lose the I think it was wasn't it PS2 first? Am I crazy? I feel like I remember this being, it was like a PS2 game first and then was released somewhere else. And I was like, yeah, this game fucking sucks. PS2 Sony shills. Sony bots don't know how fucking good Nintendo games are. They think Okami's good. That's what I would say. I was a huge hater. I mean, I think all console war hating comes from the fact that you are a kid and your parents can't buy you both. So you have like a vested interest in making yours seem better, not only psychologically, but also because you want your friends to play the one you have. So you become ride or die. You bite your fucking tongue. N64 was trash. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Get rich easy. The only thing bad about the N64 was that Christmas would come around and Sony would have 15 new games for the PS2 and PS1. PS1, I'm sorry. And you would have one new game, but your game would be sick. Your game would be fucking sick, okay? And you'd have to play that game all fucking winter. But it'd be worth it. Is PS1 greater than N64? I think history has shown N64 to be better than PS1. Because now there's the full library of games. But if you were a kid at the time, it was always a drought. There just wasn't that many games. Cope? I don't think it's cope. I think especially if you count how they've aged. I think PS1 games have aged probably worse of all consoles. Just because the way they did tech for PS1, they aged so poorly. PS2 has done better. PS2 had obviously a ton of games, but I think PS1 is pretty whack. And obviously like Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time and all those games like just clear. They just clear, dude. PS1 had a lot of JRPGs that aged well, but they are JRPGs, so yeah. So like so, you know? Awkward. So you live around here or like what? How do you know the host of the party? Oh, cool. You know, okay. Cool. Oh, my phone. I think my phone's going. Oh, I have to. Sorry, I have to take this. Oh, sorry. This is. Can I go get a drink? Yeah, get a drink. JRPGs are some of the best games ever. What does that even mean? What it means is I don't like them, right? So that's what I'm doing a little joke here because I don't like JRPGs. I'm sure people do. That's why they keep making them. If everybody thought like I did, they wouldn't keep making them. GameCube top tier? No, I think GameCube is probably even. Is the N64 problem, but even worse? Maybe. I feel like they're. Like GameCube really didn't have shit, bro. Compared to like PS1 versus PS2. PS2 was even bigger, even better selling, even more games. And then GameCube versus N64 was even worse comparatively. Also, the Xbox entered the fray. You know, like, what also was annoying, like, all right, let me tell you what it was like. If you're a kid in the 90s, like late 90s, okay, PS1, more games. It's the more successful console. It's probably better to have. But if you're the kid with the N64, that's the one that gets broken out to play multiplayer. So if you ever have kids come over to your house or you're having a birthday party or whatever, you're always playing N64, bro. It was almost always the better. GoldenEye was better. Perfect Dark was better. The multiplayer was better. There was Twisted Metal and a couple, but you had to buy all the adapters. It wasn't that good, all right? But when GameCube comes around, all of a sudden you're in the era of like Halo. PS2 has Grand Theft Auto. They both have Grand Theft Auto. All of the games people want to either play or watch people play. It was. I feel like GameCube was left out of the multiplayer era, and other than Melee. Melee is obviously great. Smash was great, but GameCube was pretty much a loser. Kirby Air Ride Mario Kart. Yeah, I was a GameCube owner. Every game you're listing is what I would try to force people to play. But I felt it. I felt the GameCube was like, it didn't have that cachet, you know? RE4 was great. Dude, I was literally on forums talking about how RE4 would never come out on PlayStation. He gave Miyamoto his word. RE4 is GameCube exclusive for life. You stupid Sony fucking shills. You idiots Xbox fans. You'll never get to enjoy it. It's the best fucking game. RE4. It's so fun. You guys will never enjoy it. It's for adults. GameCube is an adult console, and you guys don't even get it. And then, of course, it didn't sell very well, so they had to release it on... They had to release it on fucking PS2. And I think he promised. I literally think he gave his word. And they had to fucking change it. Yeah, the Resident Evil 4 deal that betrayed Nintendo.
With Resident Evil Village just around the corner, it got me thinking about another Resident Evil game with villages in it. And oh yes, I'm talking about that one. It's one of the most influential games ever made. It innovated the third-person action genre. It reinvented survival horror as we know it. And, above all else, it's been ported 11 times. I would know because I've bought it 4 times.
Yeah, it's great.
Make it 5. And see, it's kind of absurd to think that I've purchased it that many times, not just because I have a problem, but because it was only supposed to belong on one console in the first place, the GameCube. However, there's a piece to this whole thing I didn't remember. I was talking to my co-producer Chris Morris, and I was like, isn't it crazy that Resident Evil 4 is a GameCube exclusive? And he was like, yeah, it was a part of the Capcom 5. And I was like, what? It was this deal Capcom had with Nintendo to make exclusive games for the GameCube, and Capcom just stabbed them in the back.
Yeah.
I was intrigued.
I don't need this stuff.
So first, what is the Capcom 5? 18 years ago, 3 years before.
Bro, fucking YouTube essayists are like, you know who does this? I mean, it's a compliment, I guess. But his Vince Gilligan. It's so funny when you watch like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, and Vince Gilligan's insistence on having the camera put inside something weird. If you really watch it, it's like every scene they just cut the camera's in a cookie jar, and he like opens the lid, or they put the camera inside the gas cap, and he's like taking it out. He fucking loves it. It's his favorite trick, and he does it 15 times an episode for every. And it is fun. It keeps it visually interesting. But once you notice it, you can't unsee it. And Ari and I just kept pointing it out.
Or Resi even graced this planet, in 2002, Capcom announced this big old partnership with Nintendo deemed the Capcom 5. The press release read, new 5 titles for Nintendo GameCube. Piano 3, Beautiful Joe, Dead Phoenix, Killer 7, and, lastly, Resident Evil 4. Now, with the exception of Resident Evil 4, all these other titles were completely new IPs, and their development would be overseen by Shinji Mikami, who is basically like Mr. Resident Evil Man. He's a big deal. In fact, this whole thing was a huge deal. We're talking one of the biggest companies in gaming, with one of its biggest names, Shinji Mikami, making 5 games, 4 of which were completely new, exclusively for the GameCube. Nintendo fans were excited, like this dude, Chris Scullion, writer of both the Nintendo and Super Nintendo Encyclopedia.
As a big kind of GameCube fan, at that point I was already starting to get quite concerned and frustrated that third parties weren't supporting Nintendo. I mean, I was used to it because Nintendo 64 went through the same thing. So when the Capcom 5 were announced, my initial thought was, yay! fine. I mean, obviously, not only was Nintendo getting 5 brand new games, the GameCube was also getting like 5 what could potentially be fantastic exclusives. The GameCube was going to have more stuff that was kind of exclusive to it and gave it its own kind of little character and its own personality.
For any console, not just the GameCube,
it's just funny when you think about it, caring about exclusives. Like, not you should want the games, obviously, if you have the console, but it's funny to care, like, no, they need to be only for me. They can't be for anyone else. No one else can enjoy them if they don't have the console I have. That's fucked up. It's really funny to think about. But I was in the trenches.
This would have been a big deal, but it was especially so for the GameCube. First, it was not selling well. Now, despite being a more powerful system than the PS2,
exclusive were so stupid. I'm glad Epic broke through it. Dude, I was reading from Epic today. Epic was talking about what they've learned so far from their Epic Game Store. And they were like, yeah, so exclusives might have been kind of dumb. They spent like $300 million to get games to be exclusive for Epic. And like pretty much all of them were failures. They had like 1 or 2 do okay. And they did say the one thing that worked was when we don't do exclusives, but we just give games away for free on Epic. That seems to work because it costs us a lot less money and people will install Epic for that. So that was their lesson. Maybe they've learned from it. There'll be more free games. I still don't fully see the long-term plan. It feels like Epic Games Store is just where you go to get a free game. And then once it's done, you never use it again. Like it never leads to you using the store, which is the whole point. So again, I still think it's like, I just kind of feel like they took all of their Fortnite money and lead and punted it on this stupid store. That's how I feel, but I'm sure there's more to it. I mean, but the exclusives they have admitted are stupid.
Its power wasn't enough to make up for the fact that it was not a multimedia device. It could not play CDs or DVDs like the PS2 or Xbox. 2, it did not have great third-party support. Aside from Nintendo's usual suspects, there wasn't a whole lot of support or exclusives for the GameCube. And though its flagship franchises were enough to keep it afloat, there wasn't much support to attract a broader audience. Or, to be...
Does it seem as good, Imo? Well, yeah. For us as a consumer, it's good that there's a threat to Steam. But it's not really a threat if they don't make any ground and they just keep punting money and eventually give up. The Switch might have. I'm sorry. Did you just say? I'm not gonna call you out, but I am gonna call you out, but not in a bad way. Did you just say the Switch might have outdone the GameCube? In what world do you think it was close? The Switch has destroyed the GameCube. In every way, in every possible way, in every factor you can think of. Cultural zeitgeist, not in cubeness, not in similarity to a cube. Even Melee, unless you are like me, unless you are literally a diehard 20 years later Melee fan, watch Melee, cheer for Mango, the average person likes Ultimate more. They think it's better. They like in every way for most people. GameCube has been cleared by the Switch in every. It's sold zillions more. It's phenomenally successful. It's portable. It's just better. It's just better in every way. All right, sorry, what was you saying?
Be really specific. It didn't have guns.
Oh wait, so you know what? I take it back. It's not every way. It's not every way, and that's a good point. This was better. That's a fact. That's a fact. That clears. You're right. And when you're right, you're right. And I admit that I'm wrong. This was better. This was a downgrade for the Switch. I mean, just clearly. Just clearly, no one's matched this since. It's the fire intro of all consoles. That was flames. That was heat. All right, let me finish this, and then I think I got it. Wasn't bidding.
Blood or butts. Now, it's not scientifically proven, but from what I hear, it could remedy success, according to me. Anyways, as it would churn out, the Capcom 5 had all of it. If Capcom could produce 5 very good games that appealed to a broader market than just Mario and Zelda lovers, it would do 2 major things for Nintendo. Push console sales up, and show third-party developers that abandoned Nintendo during the N64 that it was cool to work with them again because they were down with guns, blood, and butts. And all the meanwhile, Capcom would just...
Dude, it's so annoying because, yeah, the GameCube didn't sell that well, comparatively. But, like, the N64 sold really well. Not as good as PS1, but it sold really well. And the reason they didn't make games for it was because it was so fucking expensive to use the cartridges. They were just weird and different and annoying. And so... what do they do for the GameCube? They make these fucking mini discs. Why? Why are they constantly trying to fucking innovate the physical medium? Why not just make the GameCube a little bigger? What was the fucking point, dude? Piracy? Yeah, I actually have heard that it was because it was more difficult to pirate, but understand that you're not in a position to be anti-consumer with regards to pirate. Like, that is something you can do when you have a fucking total monopoly and you're trying to lock down the little extra money. That's not what you do when you're in third and you just need more games. And pirates found a way anyway.
Ride the wave of success. However, there was a minor communication error. So the US press release alluded that all of the games would be GameCube exclusives, but the Japanese press release said otherwise.
What?
As it turns out, Capcom would be developing these 5 games first and foremost for the GameCube, with the possibility of them being ported in the future. But that's okay, because the most anticipated one of them all was absolutely 100% definitely.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. The way I remember it, and again, I was extremely biased at the time. The way I remember it was that he made a personal promise to his friend Miyamoto. I forgot the director of Resident Evil's name, but I remember as he personally said, we're gonna make this for GameCube. We're gonna make this work. and then betrayed. Okay, and that's how I remember
a GameCube exclusive. There was even a limited edition GameCube just for it. Look at this. Look.
Yeah, I remember that. It was sick.
Ooh, there it is. It was no different than any other GameCube.
In English, yeah.
Damn right I wanted it. So one by one, the Capcom 5 came out as promised, with the first one being in the butts category. Piano 3, which apparently folks weren't too crazy about. Or like Piano 3 out of 10. It's not my joke. Co-producer Chris gave it to me. Thanks, Chris.
Oh, that's from the Reddit.
Then there was Dead Phoenix, which just was straight up canceled. Never came out, living right up to its name. But Beautiful Joe did come out, and it was great, and had some success on the GameCube until it was ported to the PS2.
It was really good, but this again, the same thing. Like every game that would come out on Nintendo that was good would be cutesy. And so like you'd be like trying to convince people to try it, and they'd be like, it's for kids. And you're like, well, first of all, we're all kids arguing, but but like, nuh-uh, it's good. Like who cares about that stuff? And then Beautiful Joe comes out and it's good, but it's like it's still kind of cutesy and colorful, and it doesn't. So Resident Evil 4 was that game. You know, it was like finally the fucking game where it's like, oh, it's dark, it's gritty, it's serious, it's fucking amazingly good. And you could just, it's just a rush. And that's why it was such a betrayal.
And in that moment, it seemed pretty clear that Capcom was losing faith in the very plan that it set forth on. But there was still Resident Evil 4, the chosen one, the one sworn to exclusivity for the GameCube. Director Shinji Mikami himself said he would cut off his own head before it was ported to other consoles. And so GameCube fanatics held onto it. It was the cover story for several Nintendo publications. Previews were praising it. It was easily the most anticipated game of 2005. And to top it off, it was the most un-Nintendo game possible. It was super violent, hyper detailed, and had its own blood-splattered controller.
I mean, 2005, you put on fucking Many Men by 50 Cent, you sit down and you play Resident Evil 4 after school, dude. It was peak. It was literally peak, and you couldn't fucking stop it. You put on Locked Up by Akon and Young Jeezy, and you play fucking Resident Evil 4.
Prove it. He even had his own website,
and you ignore your parents.
ResidentEvilController.com. And then, 2 months before the game came out, Capcom sent this press release, which read, Capcom's million-selling series, Resident Evil, expanding to the Nintendo GameCube and the Sony PlayStation 2.
There was a few years into the GameCube's life at this point, people were thinking this isn't going well. But at least we were clinging to the fact that don't worry, this game looks great and we're going to have a great game just as the GameCube is kind of flatlining. We've got this great one and we'll always have that. We can cling to that. And then obviously a couple of months before it came out, Capcom said, nah.
Dude, it's the worst because like you didn't even get the moment of like it releasing and then them later doing it. It's like, it's like before it even comes out.
We can't let that happen.
Because then people aren't even going to go like buy a GameCube for it.
This is coming to, we're not even giving you that. It's coming to PlayStation 2 purely in terms of financial reasons. They had to kind of expand and say, okay, sorry, we know we promised these were exclusives, but now they're coming to PlayStation 2 as well because money. we've got to sell these things and we've got to make sure more people can see them.
GameCube fanatics were, well, less than thrilled. So much so that they sent letters in to magazines at the time, you know, but because that was back in the day before people just flooded comments.
Stop taking our games. I've heard that Resident Evil 4 is coming to PS2. It's apparently because all fans all over the world requested it. I'm sure there's lots of requests for GTA on GameCube, but does anyone do anything about it? No. That's another great GameCube exclusive out the window. And don't say that it gives more gamers a chance to play a great game because deep down you know it sucks too. Sam from Leeds. that was my code name. I pretend to be a British youth.
Sections. Now, for what it's worth, the Nintendo GameCube did have exclusivity on the game for most of 2005 until it came out on the PS2 towards the end of the year. And as history has told, it's been regaled as one of the greatest video games of all time, being ported from everything to the Nokia phone to the Zeebo, selling over 10 million copies across the 67 some platforms it's been ported to. And Shinji Mikami is still alive and well. He never cut his head off. He just left Capcom instead and formed Platinum Games.
Right.
Nintendo, on the other hand, well, some speculate that it left them bitter, jaded, stabbed in the back. That was their hope to bring life to the console. It's even circulated that this is all the very reason in which Mega Man and Street Fighter characters were not in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, a game that featured third-party characters like Snake from Metal Gear Solid. Strangely, though, is that most people that worked on the Capcom 5 eventually found their way back to being Nintendo-exclusive developers. Like Suda51, who directed Killer 7, is now making No More Heroes 3 exclusively for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Then there's Platinum Games, which a lot of the people who work at that studio worked on Beautiful Joe, are now developing Bayonetta 3
How is there more left
as
to this video?
Nintendo Switch exclusive.
You solved it.
So all the roads somehow led back.
I can understand how Nintendo would have been annoyed at third parties for not supporting the GameCube that much, but I also don't really feel like they had much say in the matter. It's not as if companies were suddenly saying, actually, we'd like to make GameCube games now, and Nintendo were saying, no, you had your chance. I wonder how much of it is a case of Nintendo genuinely having a grievance against these companies, or whether it was just a case of them being hurt and not being able to do much about it because until their systems were popular, they weren't really...
Yeah, it's not, I mean, you know, the game costs a lot of money to make. They have to sell it. You have to sell consoles to get them to want to put it on your console. It's not, you know, as a kid, I would get mad at companies for not doing it. But now it's kind of obvious. They don't fucking hate Nintendo. They're not mad at me, a Nintendo user. They're not trying to fucking screw me over. They just wanted to go where the consoles had money, had sales.
They're going to have much interest anyway. And Capcom seems to have kind of repaired relationships a bit now that Ryu and Ken and Mega Man are on Smash Brothers, and there's more Monster Hunter games coming next year on the Switch. It looks like things have finally been patched up, and that gives me a warm feeling in my tummy.
All right.
Now, it's kind of impossible to think what would have happened if Resident Evil remained a Nintendo-only franchise. Would Shinji Mikami still be at Capcom instead of going to start Platinum Games? Would Resident Evil 5 or 6 be multiplayer games? I don't know. But what I do know is that Leon Kennedy would have been invited to fight in the Super Smash Bros. Tournament, and Chris Redfield would have never ended up punching a boulder. And I don't know if I'm willing to give up one for the other. Now, looking back and learning about this whole thing, if there's anything about the Capcom 5's legacy that I find extremely interesting is that this whole thing was an enormous risk for a company like Capcom to make these games new IPs for what was a fleeting console. So I have to give a tremendous amount of merit to Capcom for at least trying something different, even though it
must have been a friendship thing, though, right?
Intended. As for Resident Evil 4, I'm sure it would have received the exact same praise.
Wait, I want to look this up. Just give me 1 second. Was Resident Evil 4 a friendship exclusive? How do I phrase this? Okay, Shinji Mikami plus Miyamoto. So there's an interview from 2001. Mikami and Miyamoto on new partnership. Biohazard was the code name for Resident Evil 4. Okay, this is Shinji Mikami. Everyone must be surprised because the Biohazard series is now on the GameCube. But I have a clear and strong opinion about being able to enjoy all the Biohazard games on one system. Therefore, the series will be a GameCube exclusive. You fuck! You fuck, dude! You snake! Dude, I knew there was more to it in that video, dude. They were shaking hands. They were shaking hands. Multi-platform development is also fine. But porting or remaking the games for other systems basically means the creator only needs to duplicate the game for other systems. I feel from a business point of view, it might be a good idea, but from a creator's point of view, it isn't a good idea. They expressed their wish to create the Biological series for Nintendo GameCube and will provide them with full support. We welcome to a new group of craftsmen. Yeah. They shook hands, bro. You broke a handshake deal. I'm getting mad just thinking about it again. I'm getting mad just thinking about it. I'm going to get on the forums, right? Let me see if my account's still open. Send him an email. Yeah. Shinji Mikami Miyamoto. Betrayal. Okay. Anyway, okay. How do I do this? I need to do Was Up Beijing. I need to do this. However, well, no. Okay. No, I have time. It's not about time. It's about, it's not in the right format that I want to do this. It's in Google Slides, and I want to have it in PowerPoint. I'm not betraying you like how the Resident Evil 4 guy betrayed Miyamoto. No, I'm Miyamoto, okay? Miyamoto has often said that he learned game design from playing Atrioc Racing. No, I'm downloading it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it, okay? But I have to, then it, you guys don't understand. You don't understand the struggles. Okay, you download it, but then the backgrounds aren't the same. They don't fucking line up. The file's corrupted. The file's corrupted, dude. Okay. Oh, wait, did I ever? Oh, dude. No, wait. I knew I forgot something. I told Zinjo. No, I'm showing you right now. Okay, we got it. It's here. All right, it's here. Just so you fucking know, it's here. All right, it's here. What I have to do is Zinjo in chat. Zinjo, maybe you could make a thumbnail. User not Zinjo. Atrioc DMs. What did he say? Yeah, I just didn't make one, bro. I didn't make one. And I don't want to do a thumbnail stream. I don't... Dude, there's just too much... I got a pack, too. Do you know about the application Notepad? Why does that... What do you mean? Cancel the family trip. The content beckons thee. If I told my parents that I'm not going to come visit them, what I promised months ago because I have to make thumbnails... Oh, wait, one. Okay, I remember. You know how, like, all of my old thumbnails used to be me doing this? Like this? I still do that sometimes, but, like, it used to be almost every thumbnail. One of the most embarrassing things that ever happened to me at NVIDIA was we were in a meeting, a Zoom meeting. We were talking about something, da-da-da-da. And then I was like, here, I'll just tell you. Like, we need to talk about the quarterly numbers or whatever. Let me show you. And I shared my screen, but I shared the wrong monitor. And it was the other monitor of a half-finished thumbnail of me doing this, like, on top of a game, like... And this guy goes, what am I looking at? God, kill me. Oh, God, kill me. Kill me, dude. Fucking kill me. You'd kill yourself? You would kill yourself on the spot. Really? You would kill yourself on the spot because all I did was laugh it off and it was not a big deal. We forgot about it in one day. But you think the strong solution would be to kill yourself on the spot. That's interesting. That's interesting. How high was the floor you were on? What do you mean? But you didn't forget? I meant, we forgot from the work POV. Not that I... because then they have to live with it for the rest of their lives. Again, not... it wasn't, you guys are so over dramatic, all right? It was funny. It was a little embarrassing. It wasn't like a fucking... I don't think he thinks about it to this day. Oh, was it a high-level meeting? It wasn't high. It wasn't Jensen. It wasn't a high level meeting. It was like probably my level above one. It's not like they weren't aware that I did content. All right, on the side, it was just like it was just an embarrassing. Okay. Sorry. The thing is, I have told Zinjo that I was going to make a thumbnail that we're supposed to upload right now of the chatters doing interviews. Oh. Okay.